sure they were probably going for more of like a. I'm sure they were probably going for more like a fanciful, like kind of like ephemeral like vibe. So maybe they wanted to make it a little more cartoony. But yeah, I was just kind of like, what the hell happened? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. How's it going, everybody? I'm Lennette.
I'm Travis.
Jesse.
I'm Gage.
Does this pick up pretty well?
It picks up okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing. If we pick it up too much, or we turn it up too much, it's going to start picking up that music stuff.
It looks to be picking up well.
You're going to have to pay some AC/DC royalties.
Oh, that'd be awful. This is Perfectly Moderate Podcast, or like called Perfectly Modcast, episode 12. So, like I said, joining this week, I got Jesse and Gage from the band Growing. Why don't you guys introduce yourself a little bit better and talk about your sweet-ass band?
Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm Gage. I play bass and sing in Growing.
I'm Jesse. I play guitar.
Yep. So they're here this week just to hang out with us, talk the shit, and talk about their upcoming CD release show this Friday, May 4th. Yep.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. Pangea's playing that show. And they're starting a tour that day, too. And theirs is a Star Wars themed tour.
Mm-hmm.
Which is totally fine, because I think there's probably only 2 people in our band that really care about Star Wars. So.
How do you just, it's Star Wars. It's like...
What do you know about a Star Wars?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, what do you know about Star Wars?
Not much. Travis likes to hate on me for liking the new Star Wars, but that's okay.
I don't think it was terrible.
No, I like to hate on him for liking the new Star Wars, but not really remembering or going back to rewatch the old ones, because the special effects at the time were cutting edge, but now he doesn't like old movie special effects.
I think a lot of those practical effects still hold up to this day. I'm a big fan of practical effects.
Practical effects, yeah. I think it's the old school CGI that looks like ass.
I'm not arguing that. Like the sandworm and stuff in Beetlejuice and all those things.
That's kind of classic. I really like stop motion. There's a lot of good work that goes into that. But
for sure.
What movie was it? There was an old movie that I just saw that had really shitty CG and special effects and stuff. You were with me when I saw that. And what was it?
There was that weird. It was that weird era of just mid 2000s where the technology wasn't quite.
Yep.
Oh, the original.
You didn't?
Tron?
I've never seen the original Tron, and I saw it clip for the first time. I'm like, wow, that looks like it'd be cutting edge in the 70s, but right now that just looks like pure ass.
Oh yeah, I think there's always certain stuff just doesn't.
Dude, there's things now what was I watching recently? Justice League.
Yep.
The green screens are done so shitty, and a lot of the CGI is really shitty. I was just it's like they didn't have enough money to do what they wanted to do, so they outsourced a bunch of shit, and it just it missed the mark the entire time. Yeah. I'm like, how? I guess they've created this battle between DC and Marvel, and I don't understand the comic book universe. So I'm not even going to try. But the fact that there's 2 teams for doing these blockbuster movies, and DC can't. They're not even in the same building.
Yeah, DC's trying to be I don't even understand it. They're trying to fast forward through the 10 years that Marvel's taken.
Yeah, that seems to be the comic book nerds' take on it. Is you guys should have just slowed this down, and you could Wonder Woman. I thought was fine.
I haven't seen the Wonder Woman movie yet, but I like the Wonder Woman character. She's fun. I felt like she didn't need to be in Batman vs. Superman at all, and that was just a really easy way to go. But look, she's a thing, and it's going to make even more sense if you don't watch her movie, and she shows up in the next one too. Yeah.
I get
lazy videos.
I get it. They gotta introduce the characters. I think the real difference is, I think both companies know that the characters and stuff are they're gonna make their money. Ideally off the stuff, but the difference is Marvel is alright, we gotta make this next superhero movie, and the Marvel team's cool, we have all this money made over from the last one still to spend on it, and all that. And then the DC team is alright, we gotta make this next superhero movie, and the DC crew is well, we just spent the budget for the year on cocaine and hookers. So, alright, well, shit, put it together. I don't know. I didn't think I thought the last Superman movie they did was good, with Zod, the Man of Steel one.
I thought it was fun, but then again, when they started doing Batman versus Superman, looking at it further and further back, how his destruction really fucked up the city and whatnot.
Yeah,
Then you start to be like, now it's not as good though. And then like again, the whole moral conundrum of like I'm Superman, I don't kill, but he had to like snap Zod's neck. Like, there's a lot of weird shit with that. Superman.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel you on the whole destroying the entire city and then being like, you are saved. It's like, are we really though?
I did it. It's like, yeah, what about all this fallout? Not my problem. I fight aliens. Peace, guys. Woo! Like,
let's. How do you guys feel? Just kind of shift to the topic a little bit. How do you feel about like kaiju films? You guys dig into that?
I love kaiju films. Like I grew up watching the old school Godzilla. We watched a movie recently where we call it Russian Avengers. It's called The Guardians, but it's got that same kind of like dubbing thing where like they're talking Russian, but they just English over top of it, so it doesn't match at all. I love that. Yeah, I grew up on the old school Godzilla films, Rodan, Mothra, all that shit. Love kaiju. Have you seen the new Pacific Rim?
Jesse, I think I haven't.
Oh, but yeah, kaiju, love them. Why? Yeah,
I heard Pacific Rim. What was the other one? The like
Pacific Rim Uprising were the two new ones.
They're just two different. I heard they were good. I don't really know anything about it.
They're pretty fun. I liked them.
We were just talking about cities being destroyed, and it made me think about those little kaiju movies.
Just like, hi, I'm Godzilla. I'm here to fuck shit up. Thanks, Godzilla. You're the best. Now go save the city from the other thing fucking up the other city. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, it's like, well, he destroyed the city, but at least he doesn't want to kill us too. So I guess it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I like the Marvel movies because like Marvel was gonna do a. Have you seen the TV shows at all for that? So,
some
like,
of them.
They have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is supposed to be like
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
like,
I did watch like 2 seasons of it.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know.
I like to consider it as like the way they were trying to introduce like all of the other characters and like keep the Marvel universe somewhat grounded because like again it's trying to be a consistent universe. So this is like the stuff that goes on between the world ending.
Who like obviously Stan Lee's still alive and kind of I'm sure he has some sort of say in certain things. Who runs the DC world?
I have no idea.
That would be Lee Stan.
Oh,
I think his arch nemesis.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I think at this point,
his name is actually Stan Lee.
Yeah, and his name is actually Lee Stan, bro. Like,
yeah.
Stanley Lee.
Oh yeah, Stanley Lee. Now, you know what? Has anyone looked into this? Does anyone know this for sure?
But having that basically like a president or
it's been like the one guy running like the same thing not running, but like this is the one guy in charge of creatively being like everything needs to move in the same direction generally, as opposed to like DC where it's everything kind of always to its own thing. But like
I think DC is just trying to play catch up now at this point, and they will never be able to.
They should have just like done their own thing. I guess they shouldn't have made it people made it a battle because I'm sure there's always been a DC or Marvel camp in the comic books, but I don't know.
Are you guys interested in the new Infinity War? Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, I've seen Facebook is just on fire with praise for it.
I'm guessing
it's a good movie. Yeah, I went to see it today. It's a good movie, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it makes sense why they took so long setting up the universe to get to this point.
Right.
Because again, like we love Russian Avengers because it's such which is the movie we watched, The Guardians. Because it's such a breakneck pace. They don't spend any time trying to develop the characters at all. Right. It's just like all about the action. Because we have 10 years of backstory for every single one of these characters to like draw on, we don't need their personal development. This is just like it's a fucking crisis. Go do shit. Go. So it's like everything. Even though there's so many characters, they're all doing something. Nothing's boring. Nothing's lazy. Everything is contributing to the narrative. So it makes sense.
They don't have to waste time setting up all the exposition because you've already seen the exposition in the last 5 movies.
Yep. So whereas like for like Justice League, they had like massive exposition blocks. It's like, hey, it's Steppenwolf. Well, what the fuck's a Steppenwolf? Yeah. It's like, here, let me tell you about the cosmic shit going on right now.
I'm pretty sure that's a dope ass band.
It's a dope ass DJ. Yeah, we know.
What frustrates me is Justice League. The characters were great. Loved the characters. Movie was terrible.
Right.
You know, The Flash. Just everyone they had
for
their characters.
I thought just like on a like writing level, the comedic like little like pulses of comedy were so out of the blue. They just didn't hit the mark ever. It was just like that was a really lame thing to say.
I don't know. Some of them were really good. Like the first time where Barry met Bruce and they were talking, he's like, "So what's your superpower?" "I'm rich."
Oh yeah, yeah. It seemed like super contrived and like I don't know. It missed the mark for me. Like every little like the Flash was like the comedic relief and like spoiler. Oh, like this is not a spoiler alert.
how did you guys feel about talking about DC for a minute? How did you guys feel about Suicide Squad? What is your opinion on that?
I thought it was fun, but the whole fucking thing made no sense. Cause like, right. So it starts with like the world-ending thing that causes Suicide Squad to even need to be a problem was like the bitch finally got her totem back and started unleashing her brother.
Yep.
Why didn't she do that at any point before there was a team of supervillains capable of stopping her? Like, she could have done it at any point in time. All these characters, again, super cool, but it's just too muddled.
Exactly, and it's just like...
Why?
There's no... Yeah, like, unless you read the comics and know, again, the exposition, it's just like, why are any of these people working together and doing anything? And why are they all of a sudden a family after 40 minutes of them not giving a shit about each other? It's just like, I'm supposed to care. I don't know. It's really weird. And, like, yeah, the way that, like, they had, like, recut it to, I guess, be more comedic, but really it was just, like, I don't know, yeah, I felt that might be the worst DC one so far.
I thought it was a fun movie. There's a lot of fun things.
They made enough money to make a second one.
Oh, really?
Supposedly.
I don't want to.
Unless I'm making that up, but I'm pretty sure I saw that they were going to.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure Lee Stan is at the desk right now, penning away like.
Lee Stan. Now that is a shitty joke.
Hey, this
It's
will be marketing,
still better than Travis Bacon. We're not gonna get into that. Google. I'm not even gonna say it.
Well, now I'm going to Google Travis Bacon and see what pops up.
Well,
Nothing.
No, he's a real person.
Yeah,
I went to college with him.
It's true, yeah.
Kevin Bacon's son.
Really?
Travis Bacon. And then, I don't know, I don't even really know what he's talking about, but then he started making some
I had the idea, it was really,
Parker.
Yeah, I had the idea, I was thinking like, Kevin Bacon, I heard the name Travis Bacon, and something popped into my head that told me that must be the offspring of Travis Parker and Kevin Bacon. That's the only way that name could exist.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
You just
so
combine
like,
names.
It has to be. So that's where that came from. So I guess, yeah, he is a real person, but not of the circumstances that I'd like him to be. Probably.
Getting on this thing.
Take a rip.
Yo, so we're an audio podcast. Nobody can see this in the video, but we totally have this sweet hookah. Travis, you're really happy about this thing. This isn't, I mean...
The hookah?
Your mouths?
I mean...
Is it sanitary as anybody else's mouth is?
Yeah. I haven't put my mouth anywhere weird lately.
I have a hairpiece.
I have mouth chlamydia.
Yeah, I would say it's probably as sanitary as kissing a groupie. So, like, take that wherever you want, man.
Dude, you know what's ridiculous? I have never once, like, maybe I'm playing the wrong kind of music. I mean, I've been in, like, really long-term relationships, too, the entire time of playing music. But music has never turned into, like, any sort of, like, sexual act on any level from me playing music. That has never been a thing, ever.
Congratulations, you're fighting the stereotype. I can imagine that, though, because I imagine you have a lot of, like, metal dudes coming up being, like, your musical riffage and technicality.
It's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of dudes.
And they're like, you're going to be like, thanks, but, like, I'm not going to kiss you, though, so, like, just go away, man. Yeah. Where are the hot chicks? No, they don't come to metal shows. Fuck!
Yeah.
Or they're the tiny ones who get, like, in the back and just watch. I don't know. I feel like your shows are always super insane, though, and you have a lot of really diehard fans, too, right?
It's hard to tell how insane the shows are because there's usually a lot of fog, which makes it easy for us to... That way, if we do really shitty, you can't see it. So
it's our cloak.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what do you mean insane?
Well, I would say, first of all, you guys are known for your stage presence. I feel like you have an amazing light show. Again, you have all this fog. I think I saw you guys at the Inferno, where you blew the breaker like 3 or 4 times from your fog volcano.
So, yeah, RIP Inferno.
As cool as that you just made that sound, is the most annoying thing in the world. And I would rather not have fog than have that happen. Personally, I don't know about the rest of the guys, it is the most annoying thing in the world. Is because the fog machine, wattage-wise, is like 3,000 watts or something, which is more than anything else on stage combined.
Yeah, we're very well versed in the fog machine. So we have one of those.
It just destroys, like, if it's a bad circuit. And then sometimes we run 2 fog machines, and then you can imagine what happens there. So, I mean...
It gets extra foggy.
Yeah. What were we saying? Our shows? Oh, I was gonna say, as far as diehard fans, there's two people are getting married on Friday, and they're coming to our show that night.
That's worth it.
Like,
I mean,
their wedding night is going to be spent at our show, and I don't personally know either of them. I don't know if you.
I also personally do not, but they will be walking out of that building with 2 growing brand condoms. At least 2.
She's already pregnant. No. She's already
Doesn't
pregnant.
matter.
Okay.
Well, I mean.
Oh, how about this? Can I get a roll for my wedding night then? Because that's coming up pretty soon.
Hey, if you need, we got you on that.
All right, thanks, man.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah. Like, you guys have that amazing...
There's no groupies, though. Like, we have a bus that has never had... I don't think anybody has ever done anything on that bus other than sleep and eat candy and probably smoke a little bit of weed. It's like... I mean, the rockstar lifestyle is, like... You can only do that for so long before... I don't know.
It's
we're
more
pretty
of an
tame.
emphasis on the rock.
We're pretty tame.
Yeah, but, like, your light show is just next level. You guys still have that, right?
It's very bright.
So it's very bright. I don't know how it is from the stage. It's all behind you, but from the crowd,
yeah.
I usually just, like, maybe I shouldn't look because, like, it's too much.
Dude, do you have this, fear of epilepsy coming on at some point in your life?
Specifically at your shows, yes.
Yeah.
I have that fear, like, constantly. I'm like, oh no, like, I don't want to find out if I do have it. I mean, clearly I don't. I've never had a seizure in my life, but I'm like, one day it's just gonna click. Like, the right strobe is gonna fucking set me off.
And your brain's just gonna trigger and you're gonna be like, this is it. I guess this is happening now.
It makes me, like, have a panic attack. Instead of a epileptic seizure, I get a panic attack. But, yeah, it's
going to happen the one day you're like, I don't have epilepsy. It's not going to be a problem. It's going to be fine. Is the day you have a seizure. So always be anxious you have epilepsy. You'll be ready.
I'm just afraid that, like, through the power of, like, suggestion, you're going to be like, well, maybe if I hadn't thought about it, I just would have been fine. But, oh, no.
That's what we do. We always make these crazy jokes and they end up coming true. I don't even know any, like, we could... Travis, you got any off the top of your head?
Ha ha ha, wouldn't it be funny if I got pulled over?
Yeah, it'd be funny. It's not, though.
Not even a week later, pulled over by the cop.
I knock on wood constantly, so that nullifies.
I should keep more wood around me.
Well, there's wood in my last name, so I just had people constantly beating me up to get some wood.
Another zinger.
Yeah, I was really
police stand and there's wood in my last name.
I feel like you really appreciate puns, Gage.
I bet she's like some fucking I like a good pun.
Oh man, you'll love this other shirt we have. So, I was trying.
Can we get another shirt? We already got
hold on for a minute. Let's talk about this shirt. Okay. I'm going to show this shirt on this podcast, but you can clearly see what I'm doing.
We're an audio podcast.
It's beautiful, man. You got the weed leaf and you got the weasel with the.
Oh, I'll tell you the story about it, right?
Oh.
What's the deal with the swastika?
Yeah. Also, what's up with that? Why is there a burning cross on the other side?
We're sacrilegious.
Okay.
We're sending a lot of mixed messages.
Yeah, I'm really.
We didn't have a publicist for this, so we really had no idea.
I was wondering about.
But no, one time we're at a Burger King, right? And
Burger King, you're cheating.
Yeah. No. We were at a Burger King because my other friend was working there at the time, so waiting for her to get off.
You just got fast food.
Yeah, connects.
I have fast food connects for days, man. It's not even funny. But we're hanging out, and then this dude is like with his friends, and he's like, "Yo, all right, we can go. Dude's off work." He said we can get our weasel. Yeah. So we got our weasel, guys. Like he was about to just scream weed in the middle of a fucking Burger King, and everybody's like looking at him, and we're like, "How's it gonna go? Is he about to say weed?"
How's it gonna?
And he's like, "Soul, weasel." Yeah, weasel. So we're like,
landscaping company.
That's a pretty good cover up. So that was kind of where the shirt came from. Then for our D&D podcast, it's coming out in June. I made one character. It died because I'm awful at characters. So then, shut up. So then I made another.
It was great though.
Yeah, I mean
that's like the funnest part of it, is making the character.
Man, I don't know. The best part is waiting to find out how his characters die. Because it's usually something grandiose and generally his own goddamn fault.
I mean, if you're gonna die, you may as well die in the most glorious
glorious way.
No, let me just set this scenario for you.
My previous track record with characters was I went through 3 D&D characters in a 4-hour session. Which wasn't that impressive.
Did you piss your DM off sometime in the past?
No, kind of. I piss him off every time I die, and I die a lot. So he just hates me at this point, but he also expects it. So, like, if it even looks like I'm about to derail the game, like, just gone. No fuck arounds. Time to go, bitch.
Do you like to just cause chaos in the world?
I don't want to say that, but I like to play like I'm having.
I see how it is now.
Does.
I understand. I see.
All right, so let's set the scenario, Travis. Tell them about the time you guys killed my 3 characters. It was great.
Were you just throwing fireballs?
No.
Right?
Okay.
One time they just let me die.
The very first character was a rogue. We survived the first combat encounter. It was a samurai, a rogue, and a wizard. Well, fairly decent party. In the encounter, our wizard had to use his magic to heal me up because I took a ton of damage because I'm basically playing tank. So we get done. My character and his character go to bed because, well, there's nothing we can do and we both need to, basically heal up. He needs to recharge his magic. His character's like, well, I want to sit at the bar for a while because I've got nothing to do. So he finds this drunk elf and, he's talking to him for a bit. He rolls to pickpocket the guy, but he rolls absolute shit. The elf notices him trying to pickpocket him, stabs him with a dagger. And he doesn't stab him, hard. But the thing is, there's no one in town who has any healing magic. So because we're asleep, his character literally bleeds to death after being stabbed by a commoner NPC. So that's how the first character dies.
What level were you guys at this point?
1, 2.
Okay.
Okay.
It was
So
you
were
were
fresh. Yeah, it was
All
like the first thing we did. We fought somebody, I died.
All right. So then he makes his next character, which is basically an elemental style monk. Our characters are, going about their business. We get on a train to go about the plot. Well, this mercenary comes after us, and basically, we ran into him once before. We didn't have to fight him, but he's like, hey, so I've been hired by these guys to basically kill you. And we're like, oh, man, that's not cool. And we already know that we can't stop you. But his character was brand new at the time and never met the mercenary. So they're sitting there having a casual conversation. Me and the other friend look at him and go, I have an idea. I lead his character out of the train car to the next car ahead. We then spend what's probably a solid 15 to 20 minutes in-game attempting to decouple the train car by beating it with my katana and him using his acid splash cantrip to...
Just very lightly, a little drop of acid.
Nope.
Yeah, so it finally works, and we derail the train car. We're on the part that just keeps going, and we basically derail him and a whole bunch of civilians in the middle of the desert with no supplies with this mercenary, and we're like, yeah, not our problem.
Good job, guys.
So we go about our business, and he's like, so did my character just die? Which the best part is about, 30 minutes later when we're actually playing and he's designing his next character, we're like, oh man, you know what? The character we left behind is the one that had our stock of healing potions.
You really, Victor there, boys.
Yeah. And I don't even remember what happened to the third character.
The third character was a waterbender, basically.
Oh, God,
I was
yep.
a bard who could waterbend. Then they just didn't like me because I had some, weird shit going on. I just had, some mystery to my character and wasn't involved in their plot at all. So when ninjas attacked, and I had a ninja, the ninjas attacked trying to kill me. I'm like, I don't know why they're after me. And they already knowing
you got wizards and ninjas and
so they already know that
trains.
somebody's after them. Don't believe that I don't know why anybody's after me. Don't believe me. I freak out. Start trying to defend myself. They try to destroy my gore, which is what my water is. I freak out even more and try to kill myself by drowning myself in my tears. And that was how the third character went. Tied and dragged behind the party because he just couldn't be trusted.
I like how this game has slowly just evolved into you finding creative ways to kill yourself.
I don't even try to kill myself. The first two were them. The first one was me on accident. The second one was them. The third time was them, kind of on purpose, but most of the DM just kind of getting sick of my shit, which is how it always goes.
But this last one, hands down the best. So it's our first encounter. We're fighting these beetles. He gets the first roll.
You're fighting the Beatles?
Yeah, basically. I wish it was the Beatles.
Were you fighting John Lennon? Who was fighting John Lennon?
I think John Lennon was locked in the closet, and I was going after Ringo.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what,
So he gets close, the beetles spring off the shed towards him. Him making sure that the beetles can't, like, attack him or try to grapple him or anything, because he's part, fire spirit, goes, I set myself on fire. Using fire magic. Which our DM's like, well, okay, but roll damage. Roll.
Again, I thought totally fine taking the D6 damage tops. I have 5 resistance to fire. I'll take 1 per turn. I can kind of tank this, be a distraction. However, I'm a gunslinger. So I had 30 charges of black powder on me. So when I ignite myself and all my gear, I ignite 30 charges of black powder that I just forgot was strapped to my waist and blow the fuck up.
And I mean, blow up, because at first our DM's like, roll damage. What? It's like, yeah, it's, you still take damage, not fire immunity. I'm like, so, like, does that mean his gear does too? And he's like, yeah, I suppose technically. And then I'm like, oh, so what about all that gunpowder he's carrying? And we all just kind of look at him, and he looks down at his character sheet and just, fuck.
I went full on too, because I was going to be really into this character, and like, this is the one that's not going to die. I'm going to take care of him. He was kind of flamboyant, so I got like got a dress up, did drag, got a sword, the whole 9 yards, and then like this one died in like 20 minutes. I was like, son of a bitch! I just blew $30 on this fucking joke.
Like, it wasn't supposed to be this way.
Yup.
New personal record. First turn of the first encounter.
Died to the Beatles.
The Beatles. Ringo blew me up.
I have no idea.
Jesse's just been sitting here for the last, like, 10 minutes, like, I am here. Also.
Why how the Beatles found their way into Dungeons and Dragons?
I was thinking another shitty joke.
Yeah, they were just, like, regular angry Beatles.
I'm, like, 7 worlds removed from whatever the fuck is going on right now. I don't know. I thought maybe the Beatles did a fucking D&D thing.
They did.
I don't know.
I mean, I would put it past our DM to create them as enemy characters. He kind of hates us.
We also have a lot of musical guests who show up, like, with puns and shit. What are some of the ones that Sebastian's shoved in?
Sebastian Bach?
There you go. Now you're
getting it. Yeah.
The Beatles, they just show up and they're just like...
John Cougar Mellencamp's a big thing.
Yeah.
Ooh. Whenever we're in, what is it? The Trabant. Whenever we have a Trabant around, John Cougar Mellencamp's blasting for no apparent reason. It's just his thing.
Hey.
What other jokes?
I like, I just have this image of, Anyway, yeah. Okay, how about this hookah?
Yeah, how about this hookah, Travis?
It's dope. It's really good.
Hookah.
Tell us about the hookah, Travis. It's your fucking bread and butter right now.
So I recently got a brand new hookah because, we're trying to replace the shitty hookahs because we want something quality to smoke on.
I mean, you're pretty proud of what you just showed.
Rightly so. I mean...
To just dismiss it like that.
We've been dealing with it for like 5 years though, so we're really sick of its shit. We keep burning the rugs. That's why we got this, so we can burn something that's not valuable. That's only $3 at a restore.
You don't have to reapply.
They're carpet swatches, so if we destroy one, we can just throw that out and replace it with a new one.
See, now you're thinking.
Yeah, that's only because we scorched the carpet. That's
there.
also why the couch is broken. It was one hilarious slapdash story.
Shut the fuck up. Gravity broke with my ass.
All right, but the important thing is now you're thinking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, we always thought, hey, let's try not to burn the carpet, but then we kept burning the carpet, so we're like, hey, we're going to burn the carpet, let's get a carpet we can throw out then.
Hey, let's be real here. It's fun to burn shit.
You should...
Oh, Travis, tell them how much we enjoy burning shit.
All right, so...
Nice segue from the previous conversation before the recording started.
Yeah.
About a boat burning.
Yeah, hey.
Is this illegal?
Out now.
Yes. Yeah, disclaimers. We have not done anything illegal. Everything we are talking about has been done allegedly with a hard set of air quotes around that. Because again, this is an audio podcast.
Thanks, Gary's gonna love you.
0 self-incrimination.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Plead the fifth.
Anyway, we used to have a lot of bonfires out where he used to live, and they started innocently enough where it's a case of, hey, we have a friend who's moving and we got all this stuff that we've got to get rid of, so, why not burn it? Let's get everyone together, let's have a good time. But the thing is, when you're burning, like, furniture, it's cool, but it's an escalation thing, because it's not just a casual fire.
You went from a couch to a boat?
To several boats.
Well,
Go on.
What?
I mean, actually, it was like a couch to a whole shitload of couches.
I mean, it really started as a throne built out of pallets because we had a friend who worked in a pallet company. So, like, they're like, these are scrap, though. And we're like, we have excessive amounts of fires and burn lots of things. We will take those. So then we just built the throne out of pallets. You play Fallout at all? You guys Fallout fans?
Oh yeah, I like Fallout.
Mayor McCready?
Sure.
So we all hate Mayor McCready, so we took a stuffed animal doll, decapitated it, took out all of its insides, filled it with that, punched some shit with its skull, and then threw it on the fire with the throne, because skulls for the skull throne and whatnot.
Brutal.
Yep. That's where it really started, just burning kind of small things and escalating to burning multiple boats.
As it goes.
Yes.
You know, it's a logical progression.
And the fire where we burned the throne, we should mention, we started with nearly 5 gallons of gasoline and a Czech flare gun.
That's where you start that gasoline.
Where is the alleged video of this?
Sadly, we weren't smart enough to be recording things back at that time, but I also think
maybe you were the smartest.
No, this is before. This was after the era of smartphones, before the era when teenagers would always have them. So we exist in that very, very graceful mid period of we did a lot of stupid shit and now have the internet to talk about it afterwards, but no video evidence to get us arrested for it. Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, right.
We have a few pictures, but not of anything crazy. We should still have a picture of the throne somewhere.
Yeah, we have pictures of the throne somewhere. But so we started burning like couches, just because like where do you do with the couch? And you see them on the side of the road, and like, well, that's just gonna sit there, and it looks kind of comfy. And when you have 30 people over, you know where to sit. So you get a couch, you sit on it for the fire. When the fire gets low, you throw the couch on.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
You know what? Fuck it, my bachelor party. We'll do it then. You guys are invited. It'll be great.
Well,
don't invite us to your bachelor party.
Oh, why not?
I mean,
it'll be fun.
Please invite us to your bachelor party. Where you, when are you getting married?
So in September. Funny. So talking about that Superfans thing about how you have a couple of people who are getting married and coming to your wedding.
Yeah.
Right.
I take that a step further.
She might even have a baby at our show. I don't know.
I'm bringing bands to my wedding on September 22nd. I've got enNcRA and enNcRA coming out to play.
Oh hell yeah!
So we're getting married at like it's the John Muir like County Park in
John Muir.
Yeah, it's over by Montello.
You got John Muir.
Was John Muir at your wedding?
No, John Muir.
Oh
yeah, he's from like, the 1980s. Really liked the outdoors. Died in it. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a big county park. We're getting married there. We're next to like a lake, and then we're going to a campground that's pretty close by where her parents have been camping for years as seasonal. So we're taking over the whole place. We're bringing out enNcRA, Amber My Ember.
Nice.
Turning up.
Making a big production.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like to do. I've always tried to be like, I want to do something that is like, everybody's like, do the wedding. I'm like, well, what's the wedding? Like, I'm changing my name and stuff at the wedding, so like.
You're changing your name?
Yeah.
Oh, legit?
Yeah, so I'm changing it to Lennette, right?
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, so like I'm just, it's a big thing for people who get married, right? So we're starting a life together. I wanted to make it a big thing, and everybody's trying to be like, do it like the normal way, but like I'm all about separating expectations and doing something different, being whatever I want. Music has always been a part of Emily and mine's like usness. Like we met enNcRA at like our first local concert. That's kind of what got us into this. Technically, if you think about it, that's what got us here. Amber My Ember was like the band that I proposed to her at. They played it. Did you guys didn't go to the shows I did out in the VFW, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think you had asked us to, but we couldn't.
But like,
I vaguely remember.
We had I did shows out there, so like I had Amber play. It was like a super shitty day because it was like rainy and stuff. But like still, they came out, they killed it. I proposed in the middle of the set, so it was super fun. Like again, like I always try to make music a big part of my thing. Whatever I'm passionate about is what I want to include in my life. I don't want to be like, you know, I love Emily, but like I also do this thing. This is what I like talking about. I want everything I do to always be together, going towards like a bigger goal.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of a big goal, let's actually talk about your goddamn CD release, which is why you're here.
Oh yeah,
this thing's amazing.
Congratulations on getting married. Also,
it's just a thing. It's super cool.
I mean, it's pretty cool thing.
Technically, he's got the most successful relationship of anyone in our friend group, and man,
hey man, you got that going for you. Man. Keep it
going.
That's
a little too real.
Oh, Jesus.
No, we've talked about this. I'm just that dark, uncomfortable part of the podcast where it gets a little too real and we just pretend I didn't say anything and move on with it. Like we're doing right now. Anyway.
Drink. Yeah, I know.
Alright.
But anyway, so your album is just fucking amazing. Like,
Here it is.
Yeah.
It's the gauntlet. It's about going through some shit, right?
Sure.
How did you guys... Just tell me about it. I want to hear you guys tell me about it.
What's going on?
To go back, before Gage was even in, so to go back even further, you're wearing a What Kind Burning shirt.
Yep.
We were that band for a
Let's
little while.
go back even further. Set Ice to Burning Skies.
Oh god, all eyes burn. Oh god,
Nailed it. All right.
But anyways, we were like, I thought he was gonna fall over.
No, he bumped his head on the mic, so we just heard that. Thanks, guys.
Oh, there we
Thought
go.
he was having a fucking seizure.
No, I stood up straight.
If you've
into it,
ever
went,
wondered
"Ah,"
what
I
blunt
did.
force trauma to the head sounds like, now you know.
Oh man, no, we've got a video that'll be coming out for that next month.
Oh, what is it? Hold up. Tell me about it. What is it? I actually don't know.
I figured that would be involving the pun gun.
Oh, right, yeah, the mnemonic cannon. Right. Anyways.
Okay. I don't get that.
Yeah.
That's a reference.
Well, okay, because pneumatic cannon, like
Yeah, I
a
get
potato
it.
gun, pneumatic, they sound the same.
Yeah. That's
That's
funny.
it.
Do you ever go to the fun
That's wonderful.
contest at the High Noon?
No, but I probably should. I think I'd nail it.
They do it every once in a while.
Anyway.
You could win something, probably.
Anyways, going back to before Gage.
So before Gage is in the band, we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do, like continue on as Look I'm Burning. Some stuff was going on, like Swift's family stuff. We kicked our bass player out. It was just kind of like a downtime. I don't think we played a show for like 8 months. We weren't really doing anything. We weren't having practice. And finally, we were like, well, we got to figure something out. Otherwise, this is just going to end. And we didn't want to do that. So we were like, do we change our sound at all? And we were like, no. I mean, it's always lame and contrived when bands do that, and that's like not what we wanted to do. So we started writing a bunch of music and started looking for another person to join the band. We tried a couple people. Gage ended up coming over and trying out. It worked out, obviously, because he's still here. But some of that material that we were writing at that point in time ended up going on, well, our Temples EP, and then some of it found its way to this record. So it's been like 4 years, like coming to fruition. And like,
Give or take 2
so the
months.
first part of the record is like your traditional like singles, I guess.
Singles, right? Yeah,
and
like,
then,
that's the Inner Space, Game of Games, and then the song I wrote during Writer's Block Part 2.
yeah, which is a reference to
Song I
Look
wrote
I'm
during
Burning.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice little callback.
And then I'm assuming that starting with the track 4XX and going through the rest of it, it is actually supposed to be like either like a concept album or
So,
like one.
actually continue even more. So it gets through track 6,
Okay.
and then track 7 starts the gauntlet,
Okay.
parts 1 through 6. And
So the whole second half of the album is
Is
this
a-
one long,
yeah.
continuous movement that's broken up into 6 separate
Parts.
tracks.
It's kind of like if you're a Coheed fan at all. They do some of that. I don't know if they have any like really big pieces of music that are broken up like that, but they have like these like things that run into each other, kind of like a Pink Floyd. It is like a
Shine on You,
concept.
Crazy Diamond, parts
Yeah,
1 through
yeah,
9.
exactly.
Yeah.
But this you can actually skip through. I think isn't Shine On.
It's 2 songs. Parts
it's-
1 through 5 are the first song on the album, and
Right.
parts
As the last.
6 through 9, or no, it's 6 through 10
Should
are.
have been 6 through 9.
But you can't. There's not like parts in it that you can skip through.
You're right, it is 6 through 9.
Alright, well then they got it right.
This you can skip through. So they are separate tracks. We'll be able to play parts of the gauntlet like as a song in our set and not have to play for 15 minutes straight.
Yep.
Though at our CD release show we will be playing the entire thing.
That's gonna be fucking brutal. I mean, like, I think when you guys released the track listing, I kind of pictured it as being like the singles, and then I saw those interludes, and I was like, okay. Now that you're explaining it like that, it makes sense as that being its own contained thing. That's why the interludes are there, and then the gauntlet.
And actually,
It's beautiful.
the fourth track it does have lyrics. I mean, it is a song.
Yep.
The track 6 is basically an interlude to get you ready for it.
The 4th track is kind of like a little part 1 intro to the 5th track.
Yeah, I would say it's like
Silver
a
Linings.
a dividing point in the album.
Yeah.
At least. But yeah, I love it. When you sent me the album to put it on my phone, which bricked my phone, by the way, because like I couldn't put it in. I have
It
iTunes,
bricked your phone?
Not really, but I have
Oh.
iTunes, right? So I use the iTunes Cloud Library.
Oh.
So like I had to like figure out a way to get this onto my phone.
I don't know the best. I don't know.
Our album is so heavy. It'll fuck your phone
It
up.
fucked my phone right up. So I had to like delete everything on my phone because I had like all the music synced to the cloud.
Yeah.
Take it off the cloud, put your music on it, and then resync it to the cloud. And it's like, what is this? I'm like, shut up, it's growing. I like it. I even built the playlist being like, this is probably like with tracks 4 through 12 being like, this is probably the best way to listen to it. But I think even just listen to the Gauntlet.
Yeah, so it's meant tracks 6 through 12 are meant to kind of be
all one thing.
Kind of like if we end up doing vinyl for this, it'll work out perfect because one side will just be the Gauntlet, and then the other side will be the other track.
That would be beautiful.
That'd be tasty.
I would love that one.
It is something that we have talked about. So that may be.
It's just really expensive to get vinyl done if you don't have like a guaranteed return on it.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably one of those things where it's like almost best to do like some sort of pre-order thing where it's like, who wants it? Is it something we haven't invested in?
Yeah, definitely like maybe test the waters for it and get a.
Well, like that's what we do with these shirts, right? So what we want to do is like, we need shirts. We don't have a way to print it. We're doing all online sales anyway, so why not just throw it up to A, test out how it works, and B, test out like what they look like.
Yeah.
So we bought them all at full price, and then like even though half of that money came back to us, we can sell them at the price, make all the money back.
Yeah.
So like if you, again, I want to tell you guys how to do your thing, but like if you did a pre-order thing, you'd probably sell them at 20, get them printed for like whatever. I don't know, the price.
Our not to get too inside baseball about it, but like you should at least have like 100% profit margin.
I totally believe that.
At least, and it's crazy. Like there's bands we'll play with that have some like really nice like really high quality merch, and they're like it's like a sweatshirt, and they're selling it for like $25. And there's no unless they bought like 1,000 of these things.
Made the sweatshirt
they're making like $5 a shirt or a sweatshirt, and that's just like that doesn't make you. I mean, this is a running joke in music, I guess, where like we're a t-shirt company that makes music.
Well, I was gonna say like maybe
you should have your business. You should at least be somewhat business minded and make some money. Like or definitely like
maybe those bands like maybe they got their own sweatshop. They're just like commissioning it out like that.
Be smart. Hey. So like again, you guys made this all in house, didn't you?
So we did. It ended up being something we scrapped, but we did go to a studio, and just it wasn't turning out the way we wanted. So it pushed us. We have a home recording studio. It just pushed us to finally make that leap and just fucking start doing everything ourselves. So we did that, and there was a lot of trial and error, a lot of remixes, all that shit. But
mostly error.
But we finally got a product we liked, and I mean, in like 10 years from now, we'll probably look back and say, oh, I wish we would have done that or whatever. But sometimes having a record that isn't necessarily perfect is like a good, or even if it is perfect, it's like a stamp in time that, you can always reference and be like, that's just something that happened at that point.
So like, yeah, I actually really like that mentality. It's what we're doing with May, right? So we want to get into so after this podcast, we're doing no more podcasts until June. Then we're going back to the weekly podcast release. But for all of May, we're going back through all of like the different shit we've done over the last 4 or 5 years, really, and going, okay, what are like the top 30 things we like, and then trying to re-release those in the whole thing, knowing like, again, this is a time step of where we used to be. Like this is what we did when we had no time, weren't that invested, and just trying to do it for funsies.
Yeah.
Look what we did on a budget of 0 with nothing but our passion. So now that we're trying to be a real company, this is like see what we can do. Now look what we're doing now, and imagine what we can do even more. Which is why I love supporting bands like you guys. Again, like just think about the timestamp where you guys were. Like when I met you at the DeForest show. Yeah. Amazing place, but you guys are so much farther now, and it's amazing to think about where you'd even go 10 years from now. Like I hope you guys, you deserve all of the success that comes your way.
So we're taking the long play approach to this. I mean, I don't know. We were talking on the way up here. Like, there's so many different ways to do it, and just gotta not be worried about what other people are doing. You don't need to follow these other paths that have already been blazed. Like, kind of make your own trail or blaze your own path and do that. I mean, even to the point where, like, yes, it's really cool to open up these bigger band shows. Like, it's really awesome. But ultimately, like, I guess it's validation for your fans. Like, oh, they can be on a bill with these big bands that are on labels and do these massive tours, but like you really should be more focused on like interacting with your fans and building your own thing so that you can become the band that's on stage, or not on stage, but the big band that people want to hop onto. Like, you're just trying to fit into this thing that's already been created instead of kind of doing things your own way. I don't know. I
think it's more important to do things your own way because, again, you can impact people in ways you never imagined. Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, I've started doing lyric videos because I just like Angels with Filthy Souls. That was why I did it. I just liked it. I started doing it. Why are we doing this podcast? Because you guys are doing something amazing. I want to do something amazing. We're working together to do something even more amazing. And just like doing your own path is way more beneficial to the people around you because that way you can inspire the people you have contact with and they continue to go on and inspire more people. And like that's where it all should start is with what you're doing and how you're doing it and how people react to that.
You don't want to go down, like, look back and be like the band that was that one band that opened for that one the big band or the band that you know. You'd be the band that people know.
You don't
and to, like that means you have 1,000 fans instead of 1 million, but that 1,000 is like, I don't know. I'd just rather take the punk rock approach to it.
That's actually a really good approach to it.
Maybe not 1 million. I'd rather, obviously, there's a lot of cool opportunities that can happen if you have 1 million people that are interested in your shit.
But I think the ultimate thing to take away is, like, whatever medium or whatever it is that you have a vision for, like, build your brand. Like, you know, like, if you got a way you want to do it that way. Because ultimately, that's what you're going to have to bank off of in the end, is that reputation you build for yourself. Yeah. So... yeah.
I think it's just a sign of the times too. It's like we have the social media. We have the ability to connect people in a way more fast and rapid way. Whereas like before, when it was like the labels you needed to sign, you needed that extra money. Now it's like, well, you don't though, because again, you guys have a 20-day tour coming up. You guys pretty much self-booked that, right?
Yeah, us and
our buddies in Contra. Shouts out Contra.
Shouts out Contra. But like again, that's all pretty much your hard work, your effort. No labels involved.
And that'd be pretty much impossible.
I mean, the labels are starting to get in on the streaming game. They're starting to figure it out again now. But yeah, the power to kind of do your own thing and like, you know, home recording and all that stuff has become so much more accessible now that it's like
there is this mindset to continue this like archaic way of thinking, and like there's so many people that have jobs in the industry that they want to keep their jobs. So like they want things to continue going the way that they have been going. And, like, you can either play ball with that, which, I mean, I guess, but
I just think that's
might as well just...
I mean, if that's, you know, what you want to do and you got the path and the options and connects to make that happen, by all means, do it. But that's not the only way that you can achieve what you want.
Here's a better way, I think, to say it. So, like, that's a good way to do it, and there's definitely bands that should do it that way, but with, like... Are you guys familiar with Lords of the Trident at all? I assume so.
Oh, yeah. I just mean like, in general.
But, like, they have Patreon. Like, there's so many different ways to do anything now that any band could, like, if you want to go on tour, you go on tour. But, like, if you want to just be, like, a homegrown tune, you can fill it out and you can still continue to reach your audience. We have the internet. You can be a streaming thing. I think it'd be even better for, like, the local music scene. What I always wanted to do is try to get, like, a venue that's not about, like, hey, I want to fill the venue. More like, this is a venue where I stream the shows. So, like, I can build an online audience for bands that come through.
Yeah.
Well, think about all the people who are like, yeah, I'd love to go to a show, but it's just too far away for me to be plausible, or I don't have a ride, or there's nobody else to go with me. If you just...
Especially for local shows. I mean...
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, but I also, like, the act of going, like, spending time and money and, like devote, like, saving up your money and, like, getting your friends to chip in on gas to go to the show. Like, all of that is, like, that's why I got into it.
It's part of the quintessential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I love, I love live streams. Like, I watched some of the Coachella live stream, and, like, that's cool. And it is, like, I mean, that is, like, the new thing. Like, Twitch is a huge thing right now. Like, you just watch people.
Streaming in general is the new, it is the new way of media.
But I think there's still, like, something very tactile about going to a show and, like, getting your hands stamped.
It's the energy.
Like, finding somebody doing drugs in the bathroom and being like, that's crazy.
Or, I was going to say, never mind.
Well, the other cool thing about going to the shows is, like, we went to a show, what was it, last year, almost 2 years ago now, and I ended up sitting down and just chatting for like 10, 15 minutes with the lead singer of Decivilized, just because, you know, he's a cool guy, and they were done with their set and weren't doing anything. And if you don't go to the show, you don't get that experience. If you go to the big shows, you definitely don't get that experience. You might get to do like, hey, I love your music, you guys are awesome, you know, can you sign a piece of merch for me? But it's not the same as sitting down with people from the band and being like, hey, man, your gig was awesome, and then just talking to people that you've never met and realizing that, yeah, when they're on stage, they're rock stars, they're performers, but they're still people.
Absolutely. We're all people.
Hopefully, they're cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some, I mean, I don't know. We have never operated like that at all. We're pretty, I guess, you get humbled real quick. If you are like a hometown hero and you leave like the 500-mile radius, like you
realize some stuff very quickly.
Two people show up and they were just friends with a bartender at the show, and like that is a very real thing, and that a lot of bands don't talk about that are on our level. Like a lot of bands will. I mean, it's you're supposed to like make yourself worth as much as possible, but there's a lot of manipulation, especially with social media, like making things seem a certain way when they aren't, and I think that that's hurting a lot of things. Like, it's totally fine if 10 people came out to a show one night. It's totally fine. Like, if you took a picture with those 10 people, or you actually had a conversation with those 10 people, that is awesome. Don't be upset by that. Don't post a picture from a different show where there's 50 people there. Like,
you should be proud of those 10 people that came out, because those are the 10 who came out saying that
even if they didn't come to see you, they're still supporting music and like
they bothered to chill and check it out at least.
They bothered to chill, they bothered to check it out. They have an entire world of other possibilities of things they could have been doing.
Exactly.
They took the 40 minutes to see your set. Exactly. Even if it wasn't why they're there, they still experienced it, and that's fucking amazing. Because I mean, you guys create the music and you create the performance. That's something you can't capture and share ever again. So anybody who comes to the show,
the music playing right now with this speech.
Dude, no, keep going, don't.
But like no, like anybody who comes to the show, it's like they're getting something that's special. Again,
that's why we to go back to the light show. Like when we show up at a venue, we're a small band. Like there's no doubt about it. We're a small band that has been doing it for a little while. But when we show up to a venue and we bring, which they don't take up a lot of real estate, but when we bring the light boxes on stage, some people get mad at us. They're like, "You guys got a lot of shit," and it's like, not really. Like we've done this a million times. Yeah. It doesn't take up that much space. If the power goes out because of the smoke machine, that's on us. That's a different story.
We cut the smoke machine.
But like, we want you to have an experience, and that experience is going to stand out more so than just playing your set, or
they do.
I mean,
it's kind of about leaving a memory.
I've always had insanely lasting experiences with your shows. I mean, we met at the Forest show where we helped you carry out your T-shirts to the van because you guys didn't have enough hands, and I was like the only one mosh pitting in an auditorium full of empty seats. And, like, that was such a weird show. And then, like I'm at the benefit show you played up in Appleton a couple of years ago at like Christmas time.
Oh yeah.
What is it? Roses for the Dead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got my ass handed to me in a wall of death by a 40-year-old mom, or like an 80-year-old mom. Like, that was fucking insane. Like, she just knocked me on my ass because the floor was slippery. And like, Jesus fucking Christ, that was the most insane thing ever. And like, you can't get that kind of experience at like fucking Icy Stars. You'll get your ass handed to you in a wall of death, but it definitely won't be by like this kind of experience is insane.
I think I don't know. I go to like a lot of shows. As many as I can, and still keep my home life, good. Because I could be gone. And Madison's not a big city, but I could go to a show every single night of the week. Like, there's 2 shows that I might still make a stop at tonight that I just like going out to see music. Like, I like a lot of people, not to go on a tangent, but a lot of people that, like, especially nowadays, it's like definitely more talked about, but people with like social anxiety and stuff like that, the more shows you go to, the more times you're going to run into the same people, and you're just going to feel more comfortable like like going to those shows. So like the community that we have, especially in the Madison area, is like I can go to any show in almost any genre and run into at least like 10 people that I've seen before. And it's like, oh shit, like how are you guys?
Yeah.
How are you doing? And you don't feel awkward. If you don't drink, like you at least know some people. You can go talk to them. Like I don't know. I cannot just sit at home and like I have to go out and experience stuff. And I hope a lot more people do that. Otherwise, it's slowly going down. I mean, we do fine. There's still people going out to shows, but the game has changed dramatically for sure. And I mean, if that's what happens, that's what happens. If streaming's the new thing, if like we've had shows of ours that were streamed, and there weren't very many people at the show, but you know, maybe 100 people over a week watch the show online. That's totally cool too. Like we have fun regardless.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I talk to bands, they're all about like we just enjoy playing music, and that's what it's all about. Yeah. We're just coming out here because we need a place to do it. You can't just be at home in the living room playing a metal show. You can, but like it's not as fun. We need to go somewhere and do it with the space and the sound and make it feel real, and then we have people come to share it with us. And, like that's the best thing. I always
do. You go to a lot of big shows? Or?
No, actually. Again, I work too much at Taco Bell right now, so I don't have the time to go at all. Yours is probably the first show I'm going to since I went to Asking Alexandria and Black Veil Brides at the Rave.
Okay.
And before that, it was probably, I don't even know, probably Warped Tour. Like I usually go to Warped Tour and then try to do something in the winter, just to be like, let's go to the Rave and do something different. But I mostly go to local shows, and it's the best because again, like the music's on par with any touring band. I don't know why anybody would say anything different. And so the music's fantastic. The people are amazing. The venues are fantastic. Why would I not go to these shows? Again, I could go see any of the touring bands at the Annex, or I could go see some of my friends play at the Annex. I'd rather go see my friends because, like, it's going to be way better. There's going to be a more exciting crowd. Like, as much as it seems to be fun to go to like a sold out show at the Annex, but I feel like you couldn't have as much energy and like the moshing, the pits. I feel like it'd be too crowded. It'd be a different kind of feel. Whereas when I go to like a local show, I can feel more comfortable. You know what I mean? Like like,
I think part of that is just because you know the venue. You're like cool with where the bathroom is. Like there's weird shit like if I go to a new venue that I haven't been to and it's like you don't know what to do. It's like was this where I should be standing for the like? Is this a good spot to stand? Is like. Do I want to get in the pit? Do I want to stand up front? Like, should I go get a drink?
Where are the bathrooms located in this venue?
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm also a fan of musical performance, so I know at, like, local shows, it's not going to be a full-on fight to get up close. I mean, how many local shows you go to where, like, the first couple bands are like, get up here, and I'm like, bet, boyo. So I'm always, like, right there being like, I'm ready to experience everything you guys have to its fullest extent.
Yeah.
Come at me. What do you guys have?
Yeah.
Bring it. Whereas with big bands, it's like, this is just another thing we're doing. This is tour stop 27 of like 508, and we're just going to come at you. It's going to be great, but this is just the thing we do tonight.
I think a lot of people are picking up on that, like the kind of facade. There's like no mystery anymore. You can see a lead singer's Facebook history and see them like dressed up when they were a kid online, so you know their entire story. They were, they weren't this rock star the entire time, and it takes away the mystery. And
I've always felt like what I try to do with this is I try to bring out the personality in the band, because everybody knows your music already. Like anybody who listens to this already knows music, but they probably don't know like that Gage loves these fucking puns and that
I love my shitty jokes.
Yeah, like they don't know these personal aspects, and that's way more. That's easy to sell, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how you create a more personal experience.
I mean, if you love shitty jokes, I guess.
I love shitty jokes.
Okay, God, he does.
Oh, I love
well,
shitty
we
jokes.
good then.
I would say one of the biggest things for our band is, like, we try to be as inclusive as possible. Like, we are never the guys that, like, are... I mean, if we disappear, it's usually the guys going out to smoke weed or something like that. And usually it's anybody who's welcome. Like, as long as you don't steal shit or, like, start fights, like, you can hang out. Like, you're more than welcome.
Smoke weed with us.
You are more than welcome to do whatever. Like, we're pretty... I mean, there's bands that are on our level that definitely have, like, the attitude. And it's like, dude, we're playing the same show together. Like you are not
We're
any
in the
cooler
same
than
spot.
we are. I mean, you can not hang out with these people, or you can choose to hang out with these people.
All right. So we're reaching the hour mark, so we wind it down. Anything special you guys want to say? Any last goodbyes?
Well, thank you for letting us come out here and kick it like this. This was awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for the t-shirts.
Yeah,
They don't have swastikas on them.
They or burning crosses, but I will be rocking this tomorrow, so thank you for that.
Yeah, no problems, man.
Yeah, CD
self-promotion for the win.
CD release show is Friday at the High Noon.
May 4th.
In Madison, May 4th. Record will be available. Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. We have a new music video coming out that you watched before we did this. That's hopefully coming out early this week. I don't know.
YouTube and UJizz.
Yeah.
Find them in both locations.
If you want to play D&D with Gage, just hit him up.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We should have him on the next D&D podcast.
Oh, bro, I would gladly come out here and talk some shop.
You would love it. You would love it. No, we actually have, it's a story campaign. So we're playing through the story of a D&D campaign.
Oh, okay, on the podcast.
On the podcast.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
Hell
It's super fun. That's why I'm getting frustrated, because I keep dying on camera. I'm like, damn it.
Okay, now.
I mean, at least I'm living up to the hype. All right. And check us out all May with Perfectly Moderate. And then check us out for the Summer of Strange starting in June with more Perfectly Moderate podcasts and podcasts every day of the week. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace.
Bye.
Deuces.